It's been 14 months, guys. I'm sorry it's been so long. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was worth the wait. If you want to go and listen on the go, you can download from iTunes, you can download from Spotify, or listen from Spotify, all the other stores. I'll leave links down in the description of this video. What about where you've been, guys? What about the guitar lessons? What about all those questions that I haven't answered? Well, I'll answer those questions. You will have to go to Gareth Evans Extras, my other channel, and I'll post an update video for everybody who's interested in what's been happening behind the scenes and what's going to be happening in the future. I'll let you know over on Gareth Evans Extras. I'm off now to practice my next cover.
spiraling in space towards a future that's full of promises, full of dreams. I choose to be real with my dreams. I choose to find myself in a place where my dreams are beautifully shaped and nurtured. A haven of true knowledge and light. A place where I learn to live my life.
Situated next to the Philippine seat of power, with campuses in the country's major hubs of business and commerce, culture and history. Centro Escolar University is the place where the highest forms of human thought, talent, and creativity blend together for a unique learning experience.
The Escolarian education is anchored on the university's twin philosophy, Ciencia y Virtud, science and virtue, the pursuit of knowledge guided by the highest ideals of humanity. The Escolarian education produces graduates who are empowered by timely knowledge and skills and inspired by timeless virtues to contribute to human and societal development.
Hello. 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 Papayat ba yan? Okay. Hello.
hindi na po si Attorney Manila. Papalitan po ni
Sige.
So hindi na daw po si Attorney Manila.
So hindi ko na rin siya pa.
Apo. Salamat po.
Welcome to the 2022 commencement exercises of Centro Escolar University School of Law and Jurisprudence. The academic procession. University Marshal Mr. Ivan Perry B. Mercado. The graduating students. The Marshal of Honor Graduates and Medalists, Attorney Jaime G. Oracion. Graduates with honors and special awards. Mr. Hector Jr. P. Magsambol. Mr. Cyrome O. Caboteja. Faculty Marshal Mrs. Narlin M. Orola Untalan. Faculty members: Attorney Rita Linda V. Jimeno. Dean Roderick P. Vera. Attorney Donna Zapa Gasgonia. Attorney Nicanor B. Jimeno. Attorney Karen Olivia V. Jimeno. Attorney Nico Robert R. Martin. Attorney Ana Leia A. Baron. The University Chaplain, Reverend Father Rindo Caripay Anthony, C.M. Members of the Administrative Council: Dr. Bella Marie L. Fabian, Assistant Vice President for Administration. Mr. Jericho P. Orlina, Assistant Vice President for Business Affairs. Dr. Maria Flordeliza L. Anastasio, Vice President for CEU Malolos and Dean of Studies. Dr. Olivia M. Limuaco, Vice President for CEU Makati and Dean of Studies. Dr. Rhoda C. Aguilar, University Registrar. Mrs. Maria Rolina S. Servitillo, Vice President for Administration and Accounting. Mr. Cesar F. Tan, Treasurer. Dr. Carlito B. Olaer, Vice President for Student Affairs. Dr. Erna V. Yabut, Vice President for Research and Evaluation. Dr. Teresa R. Perez, Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs. Special guest, Associate Justice Jose Maidas P. Marquez of the Supreme Court of the Philippines. The Dean of the School of Law and Jurisprudence, Senior Justice Josue N. Bellucillo, Senior Justice of the Supreme Court of the Philippines. The University Maze, Mr. Eugene Mark D. Serra III, Faculty of the Centro Escolar University. The University President and Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Maria Cristina D. Padolina. The Commencement Speaker, Honorable Maria Filomena D. Singh, Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the Philippines. Please rise for the invocation, led by Reverend Father Rindo Caripay Anthony, CM.
Good morning, dear brothers and sisters, and congratulations to you, dear graduates. This is a day of honor. And this also would tell you that you are at the finishing line of a journey that you undertook in the world of Centro Escolar University a couple of years ago. And I'm sure this has made you a better human beings, matured people with values equipped with ciencia y virtud. In the faith tradition that speaks best to you, I invite you now to join me in prayer, invoking God's presence in our midst. Kindly bow your heads. Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, accept and bless our offering here today. We ask now for your divine hand to be upon our graduates as they, their parents and families and mentors celebrate this grand milestone. Turn your loving gaze, O God, upon these young graduates as they leap into a new world with hope in their hearts. Make them strong and pure so that they can build their tomorrow with confidence and faith and develop it with generosity. Help them to find faith in you amid the chaos and turmoil. Give them a desire and ability to perceive your presence when they are in troubles, to hear your voice in the midst of being lost, and to talk to you when they experience loneliness, and give thanks to you always and everywhere for all that they make up in their lives. Help them to live in authentic joy, loving God and loving one's neighbor. May it enable them to live with moral commitment to the genuine transformation of society, guiding them to offer mercy and compassion to those abandoned and outcast. Protect them, O God, from the dangers present in the world today. Lead them in truth. Let them not be attracted by the new idols of consumerism, well-being at any cost, moral permissiveness, or mediocre lifestyles. Be with them through sickness and health, sorrow and joy, loneliness and friendship, success and failure. Give them the courage and strength to make the right decisions in life and in profession, and accompany them in every step they take in future. Bless them, O God, and bless us all, and bless Centro Escolar University. Amen.
Entry of the colors. The National Anthem to be led by the CEU Conservatory of Music. Grounding of colors. Please be seated. Introduction of the commencement speaker. Attorney Karen Olivia V. Jimeno, Faculty of the School of Law and Jurisprudence.
Good morning, everyone. It is truly an honor to introduce someone who is outstanding, both as a Supreme Court Associate Justice, but also as a female that has accomplished many other things. Justice Maria Filomena D. Singh earned her Juris Doctor degree from the Ateneo de Manila University School of Law with second honors distinction. She earlier obtained a Bachelor of Arts degree in English, major in imaginative writing, cum laude from the University of the Philippines. She pursued further studies at the Washington College of Law of the American University in Washington, D.C., USA, for a Master's of Law in International Legal Studies. She practiced law for 10 years before joining the judiciary in 2002 as the presiding judge of Branch 31 of the Metropolitan Trial Court of Quezon City. She was appointed executive judge of the METC Quezon City thereafter and served for 2 terms in that capacity. Simultaneously, Justice Singh was selected and sat as the representative of all first-level courts in the country on the Board of Trustees of the Philippine Judicial Academy. She served on the PhilJA BOT until her promotion to the Regional Trial Court of Quezon City as presiding judge of Branch 85 in 2007. Truly an exceptional judge, Justice Singh was bestowed the Don Antonio Madrigal Award as Most Outstanding First-Level Court of Judge of 2007 by the Society for Judicial Excellence of the Supreme Court. Justice Singh also has international experience. From 2009 to 2010, she was a Hubert Humphrey Fellow on Court Management and Judicial Education of the U.S. Department of State in the USA, and in the course of such fellowship, she worked with the World Bank's institutional reform sector on judicial reform projects in Europe and Central Asia. Justice Singh also became the first Philippine Judicial Fellow at the Federal Judicial Center in Washington, D.C., the educational arm of the U.S. Supreme Court and the counterpart of PhilJA. In 2014, Justice Singh was appointed as an Associate Justice of the Court of Appeals. And during that time, she served as the chairperson of the Court's Committee on Continuing Judicial Education and as a member of the Court's Committee on Rules, Committee on Gender and Development, and an editor of the Court of Appeals Journal. In 2017, Justice Singh drafted Chapter 6 on the swift and fair administration of justice of the Philippine Development Plan, the economic blueprint of the country for 2017 to 2040. She was also part of other important policy reforms. In 2021, Justice Singh was appointed as the expert resource person of the Legal Education Board Curriculum Revision Committee in crafting the revised model curriculum for legal education. In 2022, Justice Singh took her oath as the 194th Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. But apart from her exceptional track record in the judiciary, Justice Singh is also a published author. So among her authored work is a best-selling pre-week reviewer on remedial law for bar examinees. She also presented a paper on court and case management upon the invitation of the International Organization for Judicial Training. She has also written a toolkit for Philippine trial judges, as well as a working paper on enforcement of ethical standards. In 2021, she was selected as the 17th Metrobank Professional Chair Lecturer for 2021, a distinguished lecture series for outstanding members of the judiciary. And she was the first female to be bestowed that distinction. But for me, out of all of these achievements, her best achievement is being a wonderful parent to 4 children Maria Clara Francesca, Jude Anthony, Joseph Gerard, and Joshua John. And unbeknownst to many, Justice Singh is also an accomplished cook. So among her children's favorite dishes are her pasta al vongole and pininyahan na manok. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce to you a very exceptional female Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Maria Filomena D. Singh.
Thank you very much. Please sit down. Maraming salamat. Thank you, Attorney Karen, for that introduction with the pininyan and the sinigang. But thank you, that humanizes me, because listening to that introduction, parang I don't want the graduates to think na how can I ever do any of those things, diba? We are here to inspire you. And that is the reason probably why I was the one invited to speak to all of you. And I'll tell you why in my speech. But first, I have to pay my respects to Dr. Maria Cristina D. Padolina, the University President and Chief Academic Officer. Ma'am, it's truly been a pleasure meeting you. Ms. Corazon M. Tionco, the member, Director of the Board. Of course, Senior Associate Justice, Justice Josue N. Bellosillo, Justice Nonoy to me. Justice Nonoy has been a mentor and a confidant for many, many years. The Dean, you're very, very caring and loving Dean. Now, Associate Dean Attorney Julian Rodrigo de la Cruz, sir. To all the distinguished faculty members, my colleagues in the legal profession, and to our very special guest, my colleague, my kuya in the court, Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Jose Maidas Marquez. And of course, to the parents, the guardians, the families, and loved ones of our graduates. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. And to the reason why we are all gathered here today, our 42 very, very, very important people, our graduates. Good morning. I'm honored to deliver this year's commencement address for the CEU School of Law and Jurisprudence. More than a decade ago, I taught persons and family relations, sales, and ethics in CEU. I hope wala na dito yung mga naturuan ko. Okay, many of my former CEU students actually are already making their mark in chosen fields, no? Many of them, or a lot of them, have taken up further studies abroad, no? Here and abroad, and are employed in various very interesting fields. So when one is invited to speak at commencement exercises like this one, the overall objective, as I mentioned, is to deliver a message that will resonate with the graduates, a message they will be able to relate to, a message that will not only touch them, but more importantly, move and inspire them to sally forth and make a difference in our shared profession. I will try my best to comply. And because this is the reason why I was invited, please expect a very simple message. I will not be quoting, the usual people, philosophers and all that. Rather, I will speak to you from my experiences, because I hope that in it, you'll find some reason to say, kaya naman pala, magagawa pala. Okay. So, where were you 4 or 5 years ago? Think back a little. Before you enrolled in CEU Law, what were you doing? What was your preoccupation? Most, if not all of you, would have been in college, right? About to graduate also with your pre-law degrees. Some of you were probably working already then, either as undergrad students or as college degree holders already who took a break, no? There may even be several among you who were already enrolled in another law school, not CEU. Okay? What brought you to CEU? What made you study law? Did your parents or grandparents want you to take up law? Huh? Perhaps one of them is a lawyer too. That's why they ask you to go to law, to follow their footsteps. Or even maybe a former judge or a justice. Were your friends or was your boyfriend or girlfriend going to law school and you did not want to be left behind? Or did you simply not know what to do with your life at that point and you did not want to work yet? Yes? Yes, okay. I bet not many among you really dreamt of becoming a lawyer, di ba? But today, all 42 of you are here, Juris Doctor degree holders in a few minutes, no? You have completed all the requirements for the study of law. Wow. Congratulations, no? And that comes from the heart. Are you not proud of yourselves, huh? You should be. Finishing law school in one piece with your sanity intact. Well, maybe a little tarnished reputation. But that is truly an achievement. Seriously, I salute you all for your industry. No one can complete law studies without industry and hard work, no? So those people who think that, I can sail along, pakopya-kopya, di ba? Coaching sa recitation, you can do that once, twice, 3 times, but not all the time. You have to study at some point. So I praise you also for your perseverance through all the bad recits, the failed quizzes and exams, the demanding assignments, the mountains of readings, and most especially for your grit and determination. It is what brought you here today. And it is what will make you successful lawyers in the coming days. I did not want to be a lawyer. Alam nyo ba yun? Would you believe that? I wanted to be a doctor initially. Kasi when we were kids, maganda yung mga laruan ng pang-doktor, di ba? Yung may stethoscope, yun. But soon I found out that I could not tolerate the sight of blood. At saka I hate math and anything to do with science, okay? So early on, I also found my true love, no? And that is literature. I would read books, mostly classics and other fiction works, until early morning and would routinely wake up late and get to class only after recess. My school, St. Scholastica's Academy, was just 5 minutes away from our house. And my dad would always conspire to hide me from my mom and then take me to school around 10 a.m. At one point, my algebra teacher called me aside and asked me, "What grade should I give you?" I answered, "Ma'am naman, thank you for asking me, ha? Kayo na po bahala." She looked at me befuddled and said, "I literally mean, what grade can I give you when you have never attended my class?" Well, anyway, I managed to finish high school. And to my great joy, I got accepted as a freshman at UP Diliman to take up imaginative writing. This course has since been renamed as creative writing, no? Side kwento a little. Once when I was about 12 years old, we were driving through UP Diliman. I was with my mom, and I told my mom, "Ma, one day I'll study here." Diba? Kasi when you drive through UP Diliman, ang ganda talaga ng campus, and then you see the oblation and all that, diba? Sabi ko, "One day I'll study here." You know what my mom told me? Sabi niya, "Anak, mga matatalino lang nag-aaral dito." So back to my story. In UP, I discovered I did not only love literature, but I could actually write it, or at least an approximation of it. With the permission of Dr. Padolina, I will take off my mask. It's a bit hard to speak. I have 2 masks on. Anyway, I'm far from everyone. So I was mentored by no less than national artist Francisco Arceliana, who to my eternal pride found my short stories very good, those were his words, and assured me that I had talent, no? Although hindi naman niya sinabi talent for what, no? He encouraged me, and without me knowing, entered one of my stories in the annual UP Creative Writing Workshop, and I was selected to be a fellow. And later on, my story was chosen as the year's prize winner, and I was awarded by another national artist, NVM Gonzalez. So there I was, all hyped to be a writer. But God, through my mother, had other plans. My mother, without my consent, arranged for me to take the law school entrance exam at the Ateneo. She bluntly asked me, ano magiging trabaho mo, writer? So at that point, actually, the admissions period in Ateneo was over. But my mother, unfortunately for me, knew the dean and asked if I could be given a special test. And you can probably guess that I was allowed to take the test, and I unfortunately passed it, no? So decades later, I would be invited to become a part of the team which revised the Ateneo Law School entrance test to make it harder, so that no one will have to suffer the same fate as mine because of overbearing mothers, no? Seriously. So those among you who did not really want to take up law, I feel you, no? It was with a really heavy heart and unwilling spirit that I entered the doors of the Ateneo Law School. But something changed as each semester passed. I felt myself drawn to certain subjects, no? Lumabas yung pagka-nerd, okay? So civil law, especially oblicon and torts, for me were really interesting. Constitutional law, especially the Bill of Rights, diba? The stories of those people, what were done to them, and what the law could do, diba? To protect and safeguard them. And of course, ethics, my one great passion. You may ask, why not remedial law, ma'am? Because that is the subject, diba, that you mostly teach, no? In your 15 years as a law teacher. And also, what I was a bar examiner in 2019. So remedial law, I liken to my most comfortable clothes, like my favorite blazer or my favorite pair of blue jeans, no? My old college t-shirt that now has lost its original color and is so faded, it's almost white, but I don't want to throw it out. No? Remedial law is something I wear as a necessity in what I do. It has become second skin for me. But back to my story, no? Despite the difficulties and challenges, including unreasonable professors, and even more unreasonable course requirements and readings, I surprisingly found myself not just surviving, but even excelling. And soon enough, 4 years were over. Ang bilis, di ba? Parang kahapon lang. And I was graduating from law school. I graduated 31 years ago in 1991. Hindi ko sasabihin kung kailan nag-graduate si Justice Marquez. I can still remember what I wore on that day, the flowers I received, and the happiness on my parents' faces when my name was called and they went up to the stage to pin my Medal of Distinction. 3 days later, I gave birth to my eldest child. So I was fully pregnant when I graduated, my only daughter. Yes, I got married in law school, and I was pregnant the entire 4th year of review. So you can imagine, di ba, my relief that I finished and that I graduated. No. But what comes next for you? For me, as with all of you, where do you go from here? Some of you will want to practice by joining a law firm, or maybe na-recruit na nga kayo and you signed up already. Or maybe you will be one of the courageous ones who will start their own solo practice. Some might become corporate lawyers, getting hired in private corporations or in banks and other financial entities. Some might join government as public attorneys. In-endorse ko yon in PAO. That's very good training ground. Or solicitors in the OSG or as attorneys in other government agencies. Maybe become even branch clerks of court in our trial courts or court attorneys in our appellate courts or even in the Supreme Court. And there may be those of you who might want to join the police force or even the military, or still others may not want to practice law at all. Parang, tapos na, napagbigyan ko na kayo, now I will live my life, no, on my own terms. No? Or even some of you might want to settle down. Diba? Yun na lang, dun tayo. But whatever it is you end up doing, my earnest hope is that this is now going to be solely your choice. Taking up law may not have been your choice at first, like me, but staying on, fighting it out, finishing the course, that was all you. That was only you. And now, where you choose to go and what you choose to be is entirely your option. I want you to own your life starting now. Your future is at stake. You may have heard it said many times that a person who loves his or her job does not have to work a single day in his or her life. You've heard that? That is not true. Okay, and that is a lie, okay? A person who never has to work a single day most likely does not have a job or should be terminated from it, okay? My dear graduates, this one, I promise, is true. If you love what you do, you will never tire of getting up in the morning to go to work. You will never have to invent excuses to be absent from work, including feigning illness. You will never get bored or restless. Well, maybe once every now and then, no? You will not run out of energy and ideas. And here is the most important part. Your passion will be infectious, not COVID infectious. You will be able to motivate and inspire others with the love that you have for what you are doing. So, a person who takes the future in his or her own hands also takes the future of others in their hands. And this is where I must speak of service. We are all called to serve. Do you believe that you are being called to serve today? You may think that only those in government are engaged in public service. That is technically true. But I maintain that one can serve even in a private capacity. For instance, a private law practitioner may serve by acting as counsel de officio. And more you will get exposed to that in our trial courts. Or like our esteemed law professors who are not in government, they also serve when they teach. They take time out of their busy schedules to mentor you. So service is not limited to those who work in government. It is a calling to all of us. It is a calling to all 42 of you. 42 kayo, di ba? Baka may nami-miss out ako, baka 43 pala kayo. So today, you're all called to serve. Will you heed the call? Are you going to heed the call? Even before I graduated from law school, I had already signed up with one of the most prestigious law firms in the country. I had my whole life planned out before me. I would be senior associate in 7 years, then junior partner in 10, then senior partner in another 5 years. I was the favorite go-to of every partner in the firm, and my work was extolled by everyone. But guess what? On my 6th year, I wanted to resign already and have nothing to do with the law. I felt that what I was doing meant nothing. There was zero satisfaction. There was zero fulfillment in what I was doing. I asked myself over and over again, why do I want to be part of a system that is broken? A system where I do not win or lose cases solely on the merits. I took a leave of absence from the firm. In fact, I took several leaves of absence because my bosses did not want me to resign. They told me, just take a break. You just need a break. But how can I take a break from life? Every time I went back, I still faced the same problem. So I was so disappointed and demoralized. I felt lost. I was at a crossroads. In 2001, I finally left private law practice and I applied to become a judge. At that point, my sole motivation was this: I will try to change one court, my court, and make it efficient and honest. If I can do this, then I think there is hope. So I told myself, it was like God wanted to really test my resolve because I was appointed to what the executive judge of my station called the problem court. The docket stood at more than 5,000 cases. There was no branch clerk, as the branch clerk and the sheriff were entrapped as they were trying to extort someone. And the branch clerk also had fled to Canada because he had fake cash bonds in our court. I also had no legal researcher because he was suspended for drinking on the job. No? So basically, I was the only one with a law background in a court with 5,000 cases and an average of 175 new cases coming in on a monthly basis. So when I went inside my chambers for the very first time, there was a hole in the wall where the aircon was supposed to be. And I had no chair because the former judge had taken both home when he left. No, he was there for 18 years. So I borrowed a monoblock. I closed the door. I sat down and I cried. Literally, I cried. I called my mom and I said, "Ma, what have I done to my life?" I was going to call the law office also and beg their pardon and plead to go back. No? So what did I do? Nothing. I just buckled down to work. I did everything. I docketed cases. I received papers. I attached filings to the records. Everything. No job was too small or too menial for me. I wanted to understand everything that had to do with my work. I wanted to understand things so that none among my staff will tell me, ay hindi po pwede yan, judge, no? So I wanted to know what their work was too, no? That is the only way I could teach them. And so I said no to the impossible. From the start, that was my mindset. There is nothing I cannot do if I set my mind to it. So in 3.5 years' time, that court's docket was down to 985. I was awarded the Judicial Excellence Award and for it, and I asked Chief Justice Puno, who was our chief at the time, if I could bring my staff with me to the stage because I told him I would not have achieved anything if it were not for them. So this year is my 20th year in the judiciary already, okay? People always ask me, how are you able to do all that you do? How are you able to stay and do the same thing over and over again, day in and day out, year after year after year? My answer is simple. I love my job. I love what I do. It has never been a burden to me. Of course, it gets intense sometimes and stressful, but thankfully, I'm still here standing. But where does this love or passion come from? Where does the strength come from? It comes from service. There is no greater fulfillment than to see the grateful faces of the people whom we have served. When they say salamat po, then they grasp your hand and firmly shake it. When they send you handwritten notes and paper mache roses that they made while in jail, saying you are a blessing to them and their family. When they shed tears of joy, embrace their family in court once they hear your decision pronounced. Nothing in the whole wide world can replace that. That is what keeps me going. That is what feeds my passion to keep it ever bright and burning so that others might see it, so others might want to follow it. So my dear graduates, I ask you again, will you heed the call to service? If you do, like I and thousands of others have, how will you get through? The answer is faith. When I speak of faith, I mean it in 3 ways. Faith, the faith you have in yourself, the confidence you have built through rising above all the adversities that law school has thrown your way. This is the faith that will steel your backbone when you stand for the very first time in a courtroom or in a boardroom advocating your cause. But be careful, always guard against arrogance. No lawyer should ever be arrogant because a lawyer is a servant of the law, a servant at heart, and a servant always places himself or others or herself lower than others. Then there is also faith that others have placed in you. You would not be here if not for the faith of your parents and your loved ones. I sincerely hope that each of you appreciates the sacrifices your parents and families, your loved ones have made just to bring you to today. They have placed all their hopes and aspirations on your shoulders. Do not fail them. Then there is also the faith your law school administrators, your dean, your professors have placed in you. Forgive them already for the volumes of work, for the stern words, even harsh sometimes, for the scoldings, for the low grades. Trust me that all of these were done for your own good. Like your parents, your professors are invested in your future. Last, but for me is the most important, is faith in God. My children, it is God alone who makes all things possible. In Him alone do we find true meaning in the work of our hands and our minds. The call to service actually comes from Him. He is calling each of you to be instruments in serving His people, especially the downtrodden, the disadvantaged, the marginalized, the last, the least, and the lost. In parting, I say congratulations to the parents, guardians, and families of our graduates. When our dear graduates receive their diploma, know that it is your sacrifices, your patience, your love that has made them get here. In the coming days, they will need more of that love and patience because they will be preparing for the ultimate test. Samahan niyo po sila. Nakarating na po tayo ng ganitong kalayo. Hindi po natin inakala na makakarating tayo sa araw na ito. Makakarating din po tayo dun sa araw that they will take their oath. Kasama po namin kayo doon. Of course, allow me to congratulate again our graduates, the reason for our celebration. The world is at your feet for the taking. Go forth and conquer. Remember, we call this the commencement program for one reason, because today, your life commences. Serviam. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Please be seated. Petition for the conferment of degrees. Mr. Cyrome O. Caboteja, salutatorian.
The Board of Directors, CU President and Academic Officer, Dr. Maria Cristina D. Padulina, members of the Administrative Council, Honorable Commencement Speaker, Supreme Court Associate Justice Maria Filomena D. Singh, Supreme Court Associate Justice Jose Maidas P. Marquez, our beloved Dean of CU School of Law and Jurisprudence, Supreme Court Senior Justice Josue N. Bellosillo, Associate Dean Attorney Julian Rodrigo A. de la Cruz, faculty members, staff, parents, co-graduates, ladies and gentlemen, good day. Last resort. This phrase, according to the Oxford Languages, is a final course of action used only when all else has failed. Law school became my last resort from all the failures that I have endured these years. I was not supposed to be here, nor imagined myself speaking in front of people whom I have been with during my journey. Little did people know that after my college graduation in 2008, all I knew about the world is to be with my friends. This everyday cycle of being a so-called tambay lasted for years. So even when my daughter was born, the future seemed distant. Seeing my brother thrive as a lawyer and seeing my parents be proud of what my brother has achieved encouraged me to do the same. But not so without paying the price, including being away from my daughter. So I enrolled in CU School of Law and Jurisprudence in 2011. Being a working student was never easy. There will always be sacrifices to be made on each end. Work over schooling and vice versa. One negative experience in law school led to another and another. So after finishing a full year at law school, I then decided to quit. Thinking that law school does not work for me, I have attempted to search for my fate elsewhere. I once worked as a cashier in a grocery store in New York and a nursing attendant in San Francisco. But the thing is, life throws you only unpleasant things and circumstances. Add to that the homesickness I've felt being away from my daughter, Syra. So from there, I once again quit. Several years after, I went back to law school and told myself, this is it, my last chance and my last shot to do something in my life. And here I am now, from 2011 to 2022, from being a quitter to emerging partly victorious. Partly because the real test is almost within my reach, our reach, the bar examinations. It all felt surreal being with all of you, but not far-fetched. To my co-graduates, we are not the only ones who succeeded today, but also the people who believed in us. We conquered every challenge in law school, foreseen or not, positive or negative. The nights of dwelling on a subject we just don't understand at first reading, or the heartbreaking recitations that seem to crush our spirits. And yet, we made it. Rainier Maria Rilke, an Austrian poet, wrote The Beholder, a part of which I quote, "Winning does not tempt that man. This is how he grows, by being defeated decisively by constantly greater beings. These greater beings are every difficulties we have experienced, every defeat, and every other problem that just emerges from the corner. Yes, we are indeed defeated by greater beings, and yet we are thankful. The challenges made us grow, but kept us humble. These challenges buried our feet to the ground as we rise and reach for that coveted title, ATTY. From here, this bittersweet end is not yet the end game, but just the beginning of a challenging and fruitful legal profession. And now, for this year's graduating class of CU School of Law and Jurisprudence, it is therefore my greatest honor to ask our Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Maria Cristina D. Padulina, to confer as graduates of our respective degrees. Thank you, and God bless us always.
Conferment of degrees. Dr. Maria Cristina D. Padolina, President and Chief Academic Officer. Graduates, please rise.
In accordance with the laws of the Republic of the Philippines and the regulations of the Legal Education Board, and by virtue of the authority vested upon me by the University Board of Directors as President of Centro Escolar University, I hereby confer upon each one of you the degree of Juris Doctor and all the rights and privileges appertaining thereto. Tassels? Left. Congratulations.
Please be seated. Presentation of graduates. Senior Justice Josue N. Bellucillo, the Dean of the School of Law and Jurisprudence.
Madam President, I have the honor to present the graduates from the School of Law and Jurisprudence of our now famous Centro Escolar University, where our commencement speakers have taught, and for which, because of their efficiency, intelligence, and of course knowledge, two of them were elevated as Associate Justices of the Supreme Court, and before them, the Chief Justice, who from the beginning of the school taught in our faculty. We have the Chief Justice, Mundo, who is now the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, followed by Associate Justice Jose Maidas Marquez, and then by our very good friend, Justice Monet Singh, a very good friend. I would say that because they taught successfully in the faculty of the Centro Escolar University, they were all promoted to the Supreme Court. I'm saying that so that all of you will aspire to teach, to practice law, be in our faculty at CEU, and hope to be elevated to the Supreme Court one day. Thank you.
The distribution of the diploma will be led by Dr. Maria Cristina D. Padolina, to be assisted by Senior Justice Josue N. Bellusilio and Dr. Olivia M. Limuaco. The graduates as of June 2022, Mr. Flordel L. Alejandro, Charmaine A. Ampatuan, Aaron F. Aquino, John Paul P. Arellano, Mitchell H. Buenaventura, Cyrome O. Caboteja, J. T. Dedicatoria, Janelle Safir B. Domingo, Jonah T. Domingo, Crystal Carolina O. Eliazar, Marites L. Gasinga Maclinic, Vida Marie M. Henilia, Lizelle A. Gonzalez, Jerf Vanley D. Cubaton, Claire A. Hipol, Angeline L. Liwag, Micah P. Locsin, Brian R. Lopez, Hector Jr. P. Magsambol, Chrisren G. Morata, K. F. Quintana, Angelique B. Solis, Mary Ginea C. Vidal. Graduates as of December 2021. San Sherwin E. Baura. Eva Lynn A. Cabanag. Graduates as of August 2021. Louis Anthony H. Bruan. Attorney Carl Matthew E. Coligado. Graduates as of June 2021. Attorney Karen May D. Honrade, Class Valedictorian in the CEU Alumni Foundation Incorporated Gold Medal for Outstanding Academic Performance. Attorney Joris T. Lampa. Marvic A. Odulio. Attorney Noel G. Pastorfide. Graduate as of December 2020. Attorney Rene A. Britanya. Graduates as of June 2020. Attorney Angela Marie A. Almalbis, Class Valedictorian and CEU Alumni Foundation Incorporated Gold Medal for Outstanding Academic Performance. Also a bar passer with exemplary performance for the bar examinations in 2020-2021. Attorney Edmund Christian S. Altuna. Attorney Paulo Sales Z. Bisnar Jr. Attorney Hazel C. Solana, First Honorable Mention. Attorney Fritz Francis Daniel P. Madamba. Attorney Jolly Ann L. Madrideo, Class Salutatorian. Attorney Christian Shane L. Nobles. Attorney Edward M. Riparip. Graduate as of August 2019, Attorney John Christian M. Concepcion. Let us give the graduates of the Centro Escolar University School of Law and Jurisprudence a warm round of applause. Presentation of honors and awards. Graduates with honors and special award. The awardees will be presented by Dr. Teresa R. Perez, Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, to be awarded by Dr. Maria Cristina D. Padolina, to be assisted by the Senior Justice Josue N. Bellucillo.
Madam President, I have the honor to present the graduate with honors and recipient of special award.
Hector Jr. P. Magsambol, valedictorian and the CEU Alumni Foundation Incorporated Gold Medal for Outstanding Academic Performance. Cyrus O. Caboteja, salutatorian. To give the address of thanks, we call on Mr. Hector Jr. P. Magsambol, class valedictorian.
Hello. To the Board of Directors of Centro Escolar University, University President and Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Maria Cristina D. Padulina, the members of the Administrative Council, Honorable Commencement Speaker, Supreme Court Associate Justice Maria Filomena D. Singh, our special guest, Supreme Court Justice Jose Maidas Marquez, Dean Senior Justice Jose N. Villasilio, Associate Dean Attorney Julian Rodrigo E. de la Cruz, CEU Law and Jurisprudence faculty members, non-teaching staff, fellow Escolarians, family, relative, friends, and guests. Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant day to everyone. According to Paul Stoltz, the CEO of Peak Learning, the global predictor of success is the balance between the three categories of intelligence. First is intelligence quotient, which covers the comprehension ability, memory, and problem-solving skills. Second is the emotional quotient, which pertains to the ability to understand, use, and manage own emotions in positive ways. And last, but the most powerful among all, is the adversity quotient. The adversity quotient is the ability to overcome failures, disappointments, rejections, and to keep sustaining these negative forces from bothering us. It determines who will survive during trying times. It is the ability to go through a rough road in life and come out without losing your mind. The adversity quotient is triggered when we stop dwelling within our comfort zone and start choose a more difficult path, a path that is full of zigzags and uncertainties. And one of the journeys where your adversity quotient will drastically increase is in law school. Law students acquire this by living through disappointing recitations, failing examinations, and worse, getting a failing grade, but still bouncing back by studying harder and rectifying mistakes. They weep on the first embarrassment and become stronger in the succeeding. Finishing the Juris Doctor alone is an implication that you have a higher adversity quotient, much more if you did it while working. We don't want to discount the challenges that full-time students have encountered during the law school journey. However, I need to recognize the double effort that working students face to overcome the adversities while studying law. They used to sleep for only 4 to 6 hours to catch up with the readings and office workload. A lot of times, they go to classes with lower confidence and incomplete preparations because circumstances would not permit. Their challenges are incomparable because not only do they face disappointments in law school, they also face or encounter frustrations in their work. Frustrations brought by 50-50 realities in life. 50% effort in law school and 50% for employment demands. Indeed, you cannot 100% serve 2 masters at the same time. However, they still committed to their dream of becoming a lawyer. I have given emphasis to their realities because more than 80% of the July 2022 CEU Juris Doctor graduates are working students. I am aware of their hardships and perseverance. Some of them have spent 6 years to finish Juris Doctor because they know they need to do underload in law school to complement with their office schedules. But despite these adversities, they have finished with greater strength and completed the Juris Doctor degree. My fellow graduates, always be proud of yourself. Your degree does not only show that you have finished law, but it also exhibits your character and intelligence, that you have a well-balanced intelligence quotient, emotional quotient, and adversity quotient. However, our efforts and intelligence alone are not sufficient to achieve success. We have made this far because of the help and compassion of those people around us. That is why we need to stay humble. We don't have reasons to brag, but so many reasons to be thankful for. We should appreciate and extend gratitude to everyone who have supported us in our law school journey. On behalf of the CEU School of Law and Jurisprudence graduates, I would like to give thanks and praises first to the Lord for providing us the strength, health, security, and wisdom to overcome the daily challenges in our lives as law students. We, the graduates of CEU School of Law and Jurisprudence, are exceedingly thankful to the CEU Board of Directors for establishing a law school in Makati City that grants opportunities to the working class to pursue law. We are forever grateful to President Padulina, Vice President Lemuaco, and Dean Senior Justice Villosilio for admitting us into CEU School of Law and Jurisprudence, the most friendly law school for working students. We thank all the CEU law professors for imparting their knowledge and love of law. We thank Ms. Lynn and Ms. Wyra for their proactive support for the law students. We thank the library department, administration, and the other non-teaching departments for maintaining the school facilities that are conducive to learning. We also would like to thank the CEU Security Protection. We thank everyone who formed the building blocks for our law degree. We thank our friends, relatives, parents, and loved ones for supporting us from start to finish. To our parents and loved ones, we love you, and you will always be our inspiration. Thank you for your constant and selfless support. As an end note to my fellow graduates, my dear friends, we are given a higher adversity quotient, not just because of self-determination alone, but because of God's will. The will of God is to prepare us to defend the weak, even if we are facing our own adversities in life. We need to legally aid the poor, even if we will encounter difficult days ahead. Fellow graduates, may we become lawyers who will choose to defend or fight for the rights of the weak and the poor. May we become living embodiments of social justice and choose to serve those who have less in life. We are destined to succeed, to help others, to support and assist the impoverished. So fellow Juris Doctor graduates, let us pledge before God and before our alma mater, CEU School of Law and Jurisprudence, that we will become lawyers who will ensure that the wheels of justice will turn regularly and will turn faithfully to serve those who have less in life. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations. Mabuhay po kayong lahat.
Pledge of Loyalty to the Alma Mater to be led by Ms. Angeline L. Liwag. Graduates, please rise. The alumni from the audience are invited to join in the Pledge of Loyalty.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. We, graduates of the Centro Escolar University, solemnly promise before God to be loyal to our alma mater in all our words, thoughts, and deeds. We shall always bear in mind that nothing that we do should ever cast unfavorable reflection on the good name of this institution. We further promise that in our public and private lives, we shall observe the highest standards of morality and decency, so that our conduct, besides being a credit to our beloved Centro Escolar University, will give honor and glory to our beloved country. So help me God.
Acceptance of the Pledge of Loyalty by the President, Dr. Maria Cristina D. Padolina.
Dear graduates, in behalf of the Board of Directors, the Administrative Council, the University Council, the Council of Deans, the faculty and alumni of Centro Escolar University, I accept your pledge of loyalty to the Centro Escolar University, now your alma mater. With your parents, relatives, and friends as witnesses, I bind you to your promise that you will endeavor to be a credit to Centro Escolar University in your private and professional lives. I charge you to use your education to participate actively in the pursuit of national goals for progress and prosperity, to contribute to the eradication of ignorance and poverty, and the mitigation of crime and immorality in our country and the world. I admonish you as you strive to find your respective places in society to always give prominence to the philosophy of Centro Escolar University, Ciencia y Virtud. In the immediate and distant future, do find time to return to your alma mater to renew fraternal ties. The blessings of God be yours to enjoy and to share. Congratulations once again.
All graduates, please remain standing for the Centro Escolar University hymn. Recessional. The audience is requested to remain standing until the callers, the university maze, the university president, the commencement speaker, and the other administrative officers, the board of directors and the faculty have left the stage, and the graduates have left the hall. The recessional from the stage will proceed in the order which is in reverse of the processional. Exit of the colors. We'll have our pictures taken with the graduates on stage. Go ahead. Congratulations. Congratulations. Tatak na ako, mali yata. Congratulations. Congrats. Congratulations. 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 Kumanta ka ba talaga?
Ay, sir, hindi ko pa alam grade ko sa'yo.
Meron ba? Congratulations. Congratulations.
Girls, sa likod na lang. Okay. Tapos boys sa likod. Okay.
Dito na lang ako. Ayan. So, wala yung hero. Mas daw, Justice Arellano. Sige, sabihin mo dyan kay Justice. Lasha. Lasha.
message niya lang ako kung kailan.